Hi, everyone. I'm Carly.
And I'm Sophia.
And this is Away She Goes, a podcast from girls who travel.
Each episode will help you feed your wanderlust with travel tips, stories, inspiration, and more. Away she goes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Away She Goes. This week, we are going to be doing a destination episode for Oslo, Norway. We have a lot of people in the group on Facebook, especially lately, asking for tips and information about Oslo. So we thought that we would record this episode for you. Sophia is our resident expert. So I'm going to be getting some information from her, asking her some questions, and hopefully this will help you plan your trip. So Sophia, before we get into the details, Oslo is the capital of Norway, which is a country in Scandinavia. And Scandinavia obviously is in Northern Europe. So mainly Oslo, it looks like, is made up of the Oslo fjord and then like some surrounding islands. Is that correct?
Yes, it's on the mainland mostly, but there are some cute little islands for the summer.
Got it. And population is about 700,000 residents. So a bigger city, I would say, by European standards for sure, by Scandinavian standards, definitely.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Sophia, I'm just going to pick your brain. I have not been to Oslo. I was actually supposed to go to Oslo. I don't know if you remember a few years ago.
Yeah, I do remember.
We were going to meet there.
Yeah.
I think.
I think we were going to meet in Copenhagen.
Were we?
Or not?
Was I going to go to Copenhagen from Oslo?
I have no idea.
To go to Oslo in November of 21, and they were not allowing at that point, even if you were like vaccinated for COVID, so I couldn't go. All right. So how does one get to Oslo? If you're flying in, taking a train, regardless, how do you get into the city from however you get there?
So from Sweden, there's a good train connection. I'm hoping even in the future there'll be night trains because Sweden, very big on night trains. Norway, okay on night trains. So maybe at some point we'll get that nice connection there too. You can take a ferry/cruise. Like there's proper cruises that are like cruise ships, and there's also ferries that are more comfortable. Like you have your own cabin, kind of like a night train, but as a ferry that you can take from northern Germany. But most popular is flying in, which easy enough, but you have to be careful. Like many European airports or European cities, you have two airports or more. You have one that is close to the city, and then you have one for budget airlines that are at the butt of nowhere. So Be very careful. If you fly into Oslo, go to Gardermoen Airport. It's a 30-minute train ride. You can get the cheap one. I think that's maybe a 35-minute train ride. And you can get the more expensive bullet train. No, it's not a bullet train, but it's like a fast train.
Like a fast train?
Yeah, it doesn't stop anywhere. Personally, I say it's a bit of a scam because, yes, it's more comfortable, but it's more than twice the price and you're not that much faster. And do not fly into Torp Airport. That's 2 hours with various buses and trains.
Oh, God.
And yeah, I've never done it. And I don't recommend it to anyone. Maybe to my worst enemy, I would recommend it.
Yeah, fly into that airport. It's super easy.
The best one.
All right. So that's getting into the city. So once you're in the city, I think a main thing that people ask about and people look at when they're traveling is the food. Where do we eat? What do we eat? What are the best places to eat? So I know you've spent a lot of time there and you're going to tell us all about it.
Yeah, I lived in Oslo when I was a poor student, especially as a student who lives on German money in a country where it's more expensive. Yeah. Big fun. So don't expect me to recommend any expensive fancy restaurants to you.
So we're not eating in a Michelin star.
We're not eating Michelin. We're not even close to Michelin star.
We're not even like on the same block as the Michelin star. Okay.
Not even the same part of town as the Michelin star. And you can still get good food there. It's really, really expensive. I don't know about the US, but usually like in Germany, if you're eating out and it's a nice restaurant, you can get, depending on inflation and depending on how nice the restaurant is, but you can get a meal for two people for like 30 euros or something. like
I'm
including
gonna be
like a limo
yeah,
and whatever drink, like
yeah,
lemonade, not limo, and
like a soda or
yeah,
something.
soda stuff.
I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna make me sound bougie. I swear I'm not. I've eaten at two Michelin star restaurants. I ate in one in Portugal, and I actually ate in one in Vietnam as well. Um, I enjoy eating at a Michelin star restaurant. The food is good, obviously, but it's more of an experience. If
I
you're
see.
looking for just like sit down, like good stick to your ribs food, a Michelin star is like not what you're looking for,
Okay,
at least in my experience.
that's good to know. But
So
yeah,
it's a good thing we're avoiding them on this trip.
yes, yes, because we can't. It's not even close to anywhere of something that you would call a budget. Even the word
Oh God, no.
splurge would fall short of how expensive it would be.
No, Norway on a cheap day is more expensive than
Yes. So
most. It's
if
up
you
there with
really want to
Iceland.
save money, then you're making your own food in an Airbnb or your apartment building that you rented or whatever, where you have a kitchen. That's the real proper budget. But
Okay.
if you want to like treat yourself or you want to eat out for any reason, these are the cheaper options that I still find very delicious. So there's Max Burger. It's in Stortinge in the middle of the city center, and it's a Swedish fast food chain like McDonald's or Burger King. It's a bit different, but it's delicious, and I find it much more interesting. And I know you do that too, Carly, like going to supermarkets and doing what the locals do,
Mhm.
basically, and like
Yes.
doing that kind of tourism, and that's very much what that is. In Sweden, you have a lot more of these because it's a Swedish fast food chain, but they're slowly spreading to Norway and Denmark as well.
I was gonna say I didn't eat at one, but I saw one in
Yeah.
Copenhagen
Oh
somewhere.
yeah.
I know
Yeah.
I
And
did. Because I
yeah.
recognize the name. Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't eat at it though. I did
Oh.
go to the McDonald's in Copenhagen though.
Oh, come on, Carly.
No, because no, but listen, I didn't go and get American. I went if I go to a McDonald's, and I actually know other people who do this. If I go abroad and go to a McDonald's, I only get things that that country has.
Okay.
I don't go and get like a Big Mac or like chicken nuggets. I go and get like the Maltesers McFlurry that I most certainly cannot get in the United. Oh, it was
Oh,
so
yeah, I
good.
see.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Listen. So that's the kind of thing. If and that too, I don't always do it. Like in Vietnam, we didn't go to McDonald's or anything like that.
Yeah.
But if I do, I make sure to only get things that are unique to that country's
I see.
menu. That's how
Oh,
I.
and Max
Yeah,
Burger also
otherwise,
has really like nice shakes. Think about
I do
McFlurries;
love a good.
they have
I
nice
do
shakes,
love a good
and
shake.
they have like last time I was there, they had an amazing like vegan selection as well. And
Okay.
like the nuggets, I bit into the nuggets. I was like, oh no, they didn't give me the vegan one. They didn't give me the vegan one. And I triple double checked. No, they gave me the vegan one. They even
Vegan
have
chicken
different,
nuggets.
yeah, they even have different crusts on the, like they're a bit more
Ah,
crispy and they're like with corn, breaded with cornflakes. So you can see the difference, which is what I love because nothing gives me more anxiety than like going to a regular restaurant and being scared they didn't give me the vegan option.
oh yeah, and vegan like chicken nugget. It's hard to tell the difference. It
Yes.
really is. I've had vegan chicken. It's very hard to tell.
Okay, more food options. What I really love if we're traveling with friends is places where they have different food stalls because then you don't have to agree. Yes, we all want to eat pizza or whatever. Then you're just like, okay, let's go to this place. Everyone goes to a stall. And there's two of those places that I've been to that I know of that are less food court at the mall and more intentionally cool vibe places to eat,
Mhm.
which is Marthallen in Grünerløkka and then Oslo street food in the city center, where they have like lots of different stalls from all over the world. Most of them quite authentic, very, very good food, very reasonably priced. Because mostly you just either sit down at at communal tables in the middle somewhere, or you take your food to eat and sit by the river.
Okay.
Also in Grünerløkka, because it has a very nice student vibe. It's more local, it's more authentic. There's also some really good secondhand shops if you're looking to thrift some nice wool sweaters, because like they're so expensive. Like even secondhand, they're not cheap, but they're affordable. Okay, in Grünerløkka you also have Jungle Pizza. They don't have many seats, but they have such good, like they have proper like stone oven pizza,
Oh,
like really good. Like for Norwegian pizza, it's good pizza. It's not Italian pizza, but it's good.
Listen, you're talking to a New Yorker.
Then there's the Deli de Luca or the Veggie de Luca, which is like a vegetarian vegan version of this very popular chain in Norway. And they have amazing falafel waffles, which sounds ridiculous, but it's
No, I've had one.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing anywhere else.
I've had one. Yeah, there's a place where I lived called Funkin' Waffles, and they do like crazy waffle dishes. And one of the ones that they do is like a Middle Eastern one, and the waffle is falafel.
Yeah, that is amazing. Yeah. I love that. And then also there's a Naturli Eatery. It's called. That's also quite close to there. If you're looking for something lighter, if you just want to like go for a coffee or something, then again, there's many different options. But if you want to be authentic, then it's Deli de Luca, Kaffeebrennerie, or Espresso House, which are all the Scandinavian brands. Like they're chains. You'll find them everywhere around the city, but they're all Scandinavian. Nothing like, I don't know, Starbucks or whatever other ones there are. Yeah. And then also a classic is the Open Bakery, sorry, mispronounced that, in the city center, where you, like, it's really nice. They have like so much different kinds of bread and pastries and everything, quite traditional. I think that like it's been in different ownerships, but it's been a bakery for a really long time and it's really traditional and everything. And I was in Oslo with my mom. I wasn't vegan yet. And when I lived in Oslo, my mom visited me and we went to this place because it said so in her guidebook, because she got me a guidebook. I never opened that. I was just like, I'll figure it out. And they have really good skolebrød, which is a pastry, and in the middle there's a bit of pudding, and then you have coconut shreddings on the rim.
That's good.
It is.
Well,
really
now
nice.
I'm hungry.
I'm sorry.
That's why I didn't eat breakfast before we recorded this, so I'm like, all right, so what about like we've talked about this before. Like, what about like going to a supermarket? Like, I love going to supermarkets too, and just kind of looking around, looking for Milka bars if I'm in Europe. So what supermarkets do you recommend?
Okay, it really depends. If you're on a budget, you want to go to Rema 1000, Kiwi, or Europris. If you want to look for a selection, or if you want to try like the nice, like me, I love going to Extra because they have like the nicest vegan products usually.
Okay.
Mini is also a very, very fancy supermarket. Ooh, and when you're there in winter, definitely try julebrus, which is Christmas soda. It's a very Scandinavian thing. They also have that by a different name in Sweden. Because I remember coming from Oslo, visiting a friend in Sweden, bringing him some julebrus, and he was like, well, try this one. That's our version of it. So we basically did a tasting of Christmas sodas.
Okay.
Also, if you're in a supermarket, traditional Norwegian food would be brown cheese, which is called brunost. You would typically eat that on waffles. It's a thing.
Okay.
Even with jam, because it's a sweet cheese, because you cook it so long that it caramelizes. That's why it's brown. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I tried it.
It chicken on waffles.
It wasn't
here, so
okay.
Who am I to judge?
Exactly. Like you said, your Milka bars are in this country. You want to get Freia. That's the brand of chocolate you usually get in Norway. That's the brand they're very proud of. It's very traditional. There's still like an old factory building that I don't think it's anything's behind that is working anymore. But in the city center that I walked past last time I was in Oslo, they also, if you like really fun, weird things, as souvenirs, you can get a tin of baking powder and a tin of vanilla powdered sugar, because they're really, really pretty. And after you finish them in your kitchen, you can use them as decoration or refill them.
Ah. Like when you go to grandma's house and the cookie tin has like the sewing kit in it.
Exactly like that. I've given that to many, many of my friends. Okay. And two other things you might want to try is Quick Lunch.
I've had that.
Yes, I think I said that to
You
you,
sent me
right?
one. It's like a Kit Kat
It
bar,
is
right?
like a Kit Kat, but
Yeah,
don't say
those are
that to
good.
Norwegians. Don't compare it to a Kit Kat. You
Sorry.
might get thrown out of the
It's
country.
better than Kit Kat. It's better than Kit Kat.
There we go. Good girl.
It is better. I like it better. But that's what
Nice.
it reminded me of.
Nice. And then also, like the other Scandics, Norway is big on licorice, which is like, called lakritz. Yeah.
You
I'm
know
also
how I
not
feel.
too big of a fan, but it is what it is.
Okay.
Oh, and before we move on to another topic, one last thing to remember. Alcohol is very, very, very expensive. Even more so if you're in a restaurant. So like
Mm.
if you want to like try some like beers or wines, for wines you have to go to special shops. To Vinmonopoly, which is like wine monopoly. That's where you get wine and stronger alcohols, beers you can get at supermarkets.
All right. So that pretty much, I think, covers what we're going to eat. So now let's transition to what are we doing while we're in Oslo? So I say let's break it up into two parts. We'll do like some sightseeing and then some activities. So first, do you want to tell us what are like the top sites that someone has to go and see if they're in Oslo?
Ooh, the top sites are all pretty much in a walking distance in the city center. What I used to do when people visited me is take them on a nice little stroll, start at Central Station because it's good reachable from everywhere. Like almost every tram, bus, and whatever stops there. And you take a nice stroll down Karl Johansgate, and you pass several historic buildings, nice old church. If you're into shopping, there's also some shops on the way. In Christmas times, it's all decorated. It's really pretty. And you'll also walk past a park, which in Christmas time is a Christmas market with an ice skating ring and a Ferris wheel. And again, very cutesy, very pretty. And you walk towards the palace, and then that would be your final stop, kind of. You climb the stairs, you climb the stairs at the hill, and then the stairs to the palace. And then you can walk down the street that you just walked. And a little bit over Oslo. I really like doing that. Other sites you might want to see. There's the Opera House, of course. But I actually recommend that for like sunset because it's prettier than if you're into old stuff in terms of historical stuff, there's a festning. What's the English word? Not like a castle, more like a tower, more like Tower of London, kind of.
Okay.
Like that, less castle-y. That's also really nice. You can also go to the famous ski jump, Holmenkollen. They also have a museum about ski jumping, and it's a really nice place to look out over the city. You have to pay to go to the top, though.
Those are sites. And I know Norway, from what I hear, again, I've never been. To me, because of the weather, even in the winter, either the winter or in the summer, lends itself to a lot of like outdoor activities.
Yeah.
And I know you're very big on surfing, hiking, swimming, all the outdoor things. So what kind of activities do you recommend?
Oof. Well, let's start simple. If you're not too big into hiking but do appreciate the outdoors or appreciate art and the outdoors, then there's two parks that you want to visit. There's Vigelandsparken. That's the famous one with the white, obscure sometimes nude statues. If you're more into modern art, you want to go to Ekebergparken. Also, it's more into nature. It's less of a park. It feels, and there's some installations that really well. I'm not a big art person, but when I go there, I'm a big art person.
Okay.
Because they're like so well incorporating the foresty vibes and of the park with the art. Like there was this art installation when I was there last, which was underpants, just different white underpants with lights inside, like little lanterns hanging in the trees over a path. It was so cute. Like
That's so random.
it is.
Oh no.
And I totally forgot what it was, what the message behind that was. Well,
We'll leave it up to interpretation.
Exactly. Let's do it that way. Yeah, if you want to do more hiking, then also Oslo is a great destination for that, because you can take pretty much any line of the not tram, well, also tram, but also the other one. It's like U-Bahn, it's like subway, it's like
Okay, like a metro.
underground metro. That's
Yeah.
the word. Thank you.
Gotcha.
To the final station, and you'll be somewhere where it's like green, naturey, probably a hill, bit of a forest. One example of that is Sognsvann. It's super easy. It has like varying difficulties of hike. Like the easiest one is just you walk around the flat surface of the lake. It even has lanterns, so you can even do it at night. I've done it before at night, because in Oslo in winter, in December, the sun will sometimes set as early as 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So night is pretty easy. What else? What other one? Oh, yes. Vetterkollen is also one that I hiked last time I was in Oslo, and it's so beautiful. It's really steep, which if you go to Norway in general and look at their rating system for hikes, beware. Because they're very, very fit people. So what they classify as a medium hike, you might find very, very hard. So just give yourself a little, before you regret it while doing it, just check in with your self-confidence before.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. And then there's also one that I did, Grefsenkollen, which there's many hikes in that area. It's a ski area in the winter, but pretty much untouched in all other seasons, very empty. Has some nice lakes. It's not as untouched nature as Vetterkollen is, but it's also quite pretty.
I'm gonna go slightly off script here.
Yeah.
We don't have a script, we have notes. You touched briefly on the metro, and I know people will wonder, what is public transportation like overall? Is it very easy to navigate? I'm assuming one does not need to worry about like renting a car or anything like that to get around.
Oh no, you really don't need a car in Oslo. Like if you want to leave Oslo and you want to go somewhere where there's not a good train connection, then yes, you might want to do that. But if you're in Oslo, even if you want to go for hikes slightly outside of Oslo, or outside of the metropolitan area, then you can still do that with public transport. It's fairly easy to navigate. You can get day passes that you then just need to like boop whenever you get into some mode of transportation. But as someone who's familiar with navigating cities, it's a fairly easy city to navigate.
Okay. All right. And last thing is a little homage to the older days. What?
I was gonna say I'm not done yet with activities.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have more.
I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry. Because like I said, Opera House is nice for sunset watching, but there's also other places that are really nice for sunset watching, which is Tjuvholmen or Akerbrygge, which is a very, very fancy part of town because it's like the nice harbor. And it's like the only place there I could afford to go was Starbucks. But there's restaurants there if you're interested. But all I did was like go with my some German, Dutch, and of course American friends to Starbucks to study. Really nice for sunset. Also really nice to imagine like, oh, I wish I could live here.
Yeah, right.
Also nice if you want to take a swim, you can take a dip there. You can also take a dip at the Opera House for summer. For winter, I more recommend doing it near the Opera House because you can rent or book little saunas. So you can go to the sauna there, then you can take a dip in the harbor, and then you can go back to the sauna.
Oh, okay. That's fun. So you kind of do hot, cold, hot, cold.
Yes. I haven't done it because I'm not a big sauna person, but I have swum in the Oslo Fjord. That's also something, if you want to go for a nice beachy trip, you can take a ferry to one of the islands, and the ferries are also included in your travel pass, just like all the other bus, tram, metro, everything.
Now, because I got ahead of myself a few minutes ago, we're gonna go back to the Away She Goes former days. Anybody who's been with us since the beginning knows that we used to do a segment where Sophia would teach us how to swear in different languages called What the Bleep. So maybe we'll stray away from the swear words this time, but can you just go through some basic Norwegian words that somebody might want to familiarize themselves with if they are going to be in Oslo?
Yes. So, well, you can say hallo, but more common is saying hey instead of
Hey.
hello. Yeah, hey or hi. Depending, like Norway, quite a big country, so quite a few accents and variations of the language. Then for thank you, you would say tak, like in all the Scandinavian, well, not all but many of the Scandics. You say tak.
Denmark was the same. I think Sweden even was
Sweden
too.
is
Yeah.
the same as well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Iceland. I know Finland,
Iceland's
definitely it's
different.
not tak.
No, Iceland's different.
Okay.
Is it? I don't remember. It's been
Because I know
feel
Icelandic is very similar as well to Danish.
Yeah, Icelandic. I feel like I was in Iceland last month sometimes or like a year ago, but it was like 6 years ago now, 6.5, almost 6.5 years ago. So I'm like, oh, Iceland. And I'm like, it's been 6 years since you've been there. So
When you want to say please, you say var så snill. It's literally be so kind. Again,
okay.
var så snill. And if you're really just out of your depth and you would like someone to speak English with you, you can say engelsk, because that's English and you can just say it as a question and then people will know like, oh, you're hoping to speak English to me. And also
Got it.
in terms of our past, fan, which is fuck. Which don't say that to Norwegian people, but like
no, don't say it.
Just so you know.
Just in case. Have it in your back pocket, you know. All right. I think we've covered pretty in depth about Oslo. Is there anything else before we go that our listeners should know before going?
Oslo is fun during every season. You can do something different there in every season. Of course, hiking not so big in winter. Then you might want to do some more skiing or more of a city trip. And in summer, of course, it's a whole different experience. But it's also very hygge and cute in the winter. So don't be scared if you're only free in winter to go there. It's still nice.
That's all for this episode. If you'd like more Away She Goes in your life, make sure to stop by girlswhotravel.org/podcast. That's where you can fill out a form if you're interested in being a guest on the show. You can also write to us at awayshegosgwt@gmail.com or leave us a message on our Google voicemail from any phone or computer at 1-563-503-6323. To follow our adventures, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Carli Sees the World. Carli is spelled Carli.
You can also follow me at Sophia AEZ, Sophia with a PH. Away She Goes is part of Girls Who Travel, a community dedicated to radically redefining travel to be inclusive, sustainable, and empowering. You can learn more about GWT, find travel tips and support, shop travel-themed items made by GWT members, and join our Facebook group with nearly 100,000 women all around the world at girlswhotravel.org. We can't wait to connect and explore with you. Away she goes.